He was every parent's nightmare, a shadow lurking in the night. Anatoly Onoprienko, the name sends shivers down your spine. This dude was bad news, man. In Ukraine, they called him the Beast, and for good reason. This guy was a straight-up serial killer. From 1996 to 1998, he terrorized the entire country. Onoprienko preyed on families in quiet villages. Imagine minding your own business, then bam, this guy shows up. He murdered 52 innocent people. 52! It's insane. He was cold-blooded, ruthless, a total monster. This wasn't some Hollywood horror flick. This was real life, man. And Onoprienko was living it. He was a one-man killing machine, leaving a trail of blood across Ukraine. So, what turned Onoprienko into a monster? What could have possibly twisted a human being into such a dark path? Well, his childhood was a messed-up cocktail of neglect and abuse. Imagine growing up in an environment where love and care are foreign concepts. Born in 1959, he was abandoned by his mother at a young age, left to navigate a world that seemed to have no place for him. Can you imagine the trauma, man? That's gotta leave a mark. A deep, indelible scar that shapes your entire existence. He bounced around orphanages which, let's be real, were probably rough as hell. These weren't places of refuge, but rather places of survival. We're talking about the Soviet Union in the 60s and 70s, not exactly known for their compassionate care facilities. The system was cold, unfeeling, and often brutal. These places were like factories for hardened criminals. They churned out individuals who were more broken than when they arrived. Onoprienko's early life was a breeding ground for anger, resentment, and violence. Every day was a battle, every moment a struggle. He was failed by the system, left to fend for himself in a brutal world. A world that seemed to offer no hope, no escape. Is it any surprise he snapped? When you're pushed to the edge, sometimes the only way out is through the darkness. I mean, the guy never stood a chance. From the very beginning, his life was a tragic tale of despair and hopelessness. Onoprienko's reign of terror began in '96. He targeted families in their homes, usually at night. Talk about home invasion nightmares. This guy was the real deal. He'd burst in, armed to the teeth, shotguns, axes, you name it, he used it. This wasn't just about murder, though. Onoprienko was sadistic. He'd torture his victims, prolonging their suffering. He'd often kill entire families, including children. It was brutal, man, absolutely savage. The whole country was on edge. People were terrified to sleep in their own homes. Imagine the paranoia, the fear. Onoprienko was a ghost, here one minute, gone the next, leaving a trail of bodies in his wake. He was a predator, and Ukraine was his hunting ground. As the body count rose, the pressure mounted on the Ukrainian police. They had a serial killer on the loose, and they were running out of time. They launched a massive manhunt, the biggest in the country's history. They were determined to catch this guy no matter what. The investigation was intense, man. Thousands of officers, hundreds of leads, and the clock was ticking. They interviewed witnesses, gathered evidence, and followed every possible trail. They were like dogs with a bone. They wouldn't let go. Finally, after months of relentless pursuit, they got a break. A witness came forward with crucial information, a description, a location. They were closing in on their prey. The hunter was about to become the hunted. Section 5. In the Shadow of the Hammer. They finally caught Onoprienko in January 1999, hiding out in an apartment. It was a moment of relief for the entire nation, which had been living in fear for years. Can you believe this guy had the audacity to live a normal life while terrorizing the country? He blended in so well, it was almost like he was invisible to the authorities. He was apprehended in a dramatic raid. The SWAT team moved in with precision, ensuring there was no chance for him to escape. It was like something out of a movie, man. The tension, the suspense, it was all there. You could almost hear the dramatic music playing in the background. The trial was a media circus. Journalists from all over the world flocked to cover the story, each one trying to get the latest scoop. The whole world was watching as Onoprienko, cold and emotionless, sat in the courtroom. He confessed to everything. His lack of remorse was chilling. He even seemed to relish in the details of his crimes. What a sick puppy. He described each act with a disturbing level of detail, almost as if he was proud of what he had done. He claimed he was a soldier, carrying out a mission. He tried to paint himself as some kind of avenger, but no one was buying it. He said he was taking revenge on society for the injustices he suffered. He blamed everyone but himself for his actions. But it was all BS, man. Everyone knew it. The jury, the judge, the public. No one was fooled by his excuses. He was a cold-blooded killer, plain and simple. No amount of justification could change that. His actions spoke louder than his words ever could. Section 6. Life Behind Bars, A Legacy of Fear. In 1999, Onoprienko was sentenced to life in prison. He died behind bars in 2013. Good riddance, right? But the scars he left on Ukraine, those haven't faded. The beast of Ukraine. Just saying the name sends chills down your spine. He was a monster who preyed on the innocent, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. His crimes shocked the world and exposed the dark underbelly of humanity. Section 7. Inside the Mind of a Monster. Now, I'm not a shrink, but trying to understand what makes a guy like Onoprienko tick is like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Was it his messed up childhood? The violence he witnessed? Or was he just born evil? Some folks say he was a product of his environment, a troubled kid who never had a chance. Others think he was a psychopath, wired differently from the rest of us. Maybe it was a bit of both. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. Onoprienko was a predator. He enjoyed inflicting pain and suffering. He got off on it, and that's what makes him so terrifying. Because there's no reasoning with that kind of evil. Section 8. The Weight of 52 Lives. 52 lives. That's 52 families torn apart. 52 stories left unfinished. It's hard to even wrap your head around that kind of loss. The impact of Onoprienko's crimes is still felt today, man. Imagine the families of the victims, the pain, the anger, the never-ending questions. How do you move on from something like that? How do you find peace when the world has shown you such darkness? Onoprienko's legacy is a heavy one. It's a reminder of the evil that men are capable of, but it's also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Section 9. Ukraine remembers. The world listens. Ukraine will never forget the beast. His crimes are seared into their collective memory, but they've also learned from it. They've strengthened their law enforcement, improved their mental health services, and worked to create a safer society. Onoprienko's story is a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that evil can lurk in the shadows, but it's also a call to action. We can't ignore the warning signs. We have to be vigilant. We have to look out for each other. The world is listening, man, and we can all learn from Ukraine's experience. We can choose to be better, to build a world where monsters like Onoprienko don't stand a chance. Section 10. Echoes of Onoprienko. A reminder. The beast of Ukraine may be gone, but his story serves as a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity. His actions left an indelible mark on history, a scar that continues to remind us of the potential for evil within humanity, a reminder that evil exists in our world, often lurking in the shadows, waiting for the opportunity to strike. It is a presence that can be felt in the quiet moments, in the places we least expect, and in the faces of those who seem ordinary. Onoprienko's reign of terror might be over, but his crimes continue to resonate. The echoes of his actions ripple through time, affecting the lives of those who survived and the communities that were forever changed. They remind us of the fragility of peace, the importance of vigilance, and the need for compassion and understanding in a world where darkness can sometimes seem overwhelming. These reminders are not just about the past, but about the present and future as well. The fight against evil is never truly over. It is a continuous struggle that requires the efforts of individuals and communities alike. We must remain vigilant, always ready to stand against the forces that seek to disrupt our peace. It's a battle fought every day, in every corner of the globe. From the bustling cities to the quiet villages, the fight against darkness is a universal challenge that unites us all. But by remembering the lessons of the past, by confronting darkness with courage and determination, we can strive to create a safer, more just world for ourselves and for generations to come. It is through our collective efforts that we can hope to build a future where such horrors are not repeated and where peace and justice prevail.